Hello. Today I'm going to look at the theory of how postmodernism can be used in popular culture as a way of retelling history through the eyes of media text. Examples of what I'm going to look for include how postmodernism can be seen as a modernised alternative to reading scholarly material, and how TV shows can press the reset button to rewrite history their way. The historical event I'm looking into is the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963, and my chosen media text is an episode of the science fiction comedy Red Dwarf. On the hunt for food supplies following an incident at the end of the last series, the four-man crew unwittingly travelled to Dallas on the 22nd of November 1963 and now managed to stop the assassination of President Kennedy by Lee Harvey Oswald, albeit unintentionally. In doing so, they create a radically altered timeline that sees the presidency controlled by the mafia and major American cities abandoned. Faced with a massive crisis, the crew must now ensure Kennedy's death takes place and turn to a man wanting to redeem himself. Postmodernism is when the usual 20th century style, rules and conventions of modernism are broken away from. In short, the historical event being portrayed and the basic facts behind the historical event are both there, but the way in which the plot pans out is just so unconventional and almost parody-like, they can't be taken seriously. Evidence of this includes using an alternate universe that sees the presidency run by the mafia as a result of Kennedy getting himself impeached. When a TV show presses the reset button, it allows them to revert the original show premise to before it went down the path of postmodernism. But for Red Dwarf, it takes another unconventional approach to the reset button by completely rewriting historical events, something that isn't usually done for most sitcoms. The thing that makes the episode funny is how they go about even hitting the button to begin with, as in Kennedy killing his past self, which is how it ties in with the unconventional ideas of postmodernism to begin with. Also, through Kennedy killing his past self, it's lampshading the historical theory of a second shooter on the grassy knoll, as it links in with and almost mocks the results of the Wrong Commission, which was unable to determine if there was more than one killer. But, whilst postmodernism is seen as a breakaway from the usual rules, it doesn't always mean it is. An example of such is the 1991 Oliver Stone directed film JFK. The book, Postmodernism, What You Should Know and Do About It, states that Stone, begin quote, is another great example of postmodern entertainment in that he is able to present relativism through the multiple conspiracy theories for the assassination of John F. Kennedy in JFK, end quote. Going on to mention sources like audio and videotapes that, begin quote, develops his own interpretation of the events, end quote. This indicates that whilst the methods for making media texts are seen as postmodern, it doesn't mean the content is, seeing as the film is pretty much a modern sum up of how the Warren Commission were unable to determine if there was more than one killer, or if Lee Harvey Oswald, if it was him, was acting alone. In conclusion, I find that film and TV can tie in with both popular culture and historical events and be used as a modern alternative to reading scholarly material. With postmodernism, for example, the basics are shown in some way before the TV show or film takes advantage of the reset button to rewrite the history in their own way, as shown with Red Dwarf, who had Kennedy survive his assassination, leading to a radically altered timeline that saw him impeached for sharing a kiss with a mistress of a mafia boss, and then the new presidency controlled by the mafia. It would then go on to having the surviving president, post-impeachment of course, killing his past self, also seeing one of the most historic conspiracy theories of a second shooter on the grassy knoll utilised and lampshaded.